I'm back. Probably, if you're watching this after the stream, you didn't notice anything, or just like a kind of seamless jump cut. Anyway, healthy food. Deb was also adamant about eating right, and often took over in Joan's absence to oversee what the others ate. Trex was on board because he knew that healthy eating helped maximize his performance while exercising. The Tyrannosaurus is on board eating fruits and vegetables. And whole grains. Okay, Riz ate healthy too, but it didn't come as easy for her as it did for the others. She longed to visit one of the fast food restaurants advertised on television and sink her big teeth into a fat, juicy hamburger with fries. She's a triceratops. They are herbivores. And then there was Braun. Despite all of Joan's teaching regarding food, he seemed born with cravings for certain things that humans can't eat. For example, Braun liked to munch on rocks, a habit of this that Joan, Clem, and the other three dinosaurs continuously tried to break. Regardless of what the four dinosaurs ate, they ate lots of it. Regardless of what the four dinosaurs ate, they ate lots of it. Carrying in the groceries was a real chore, and all had to participate in order to get the job done. I think that she's just trying to, like, stick that in there so she can get her kids to help with the groceries. Because something tells me she's like, oh, you should really help with the groceries because the dinosaurs are doing it, and they don't have hands. Okay. None seemed to mind because each was forever hungry. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. Joan and Clem had 4 more months to feed now. 4 more big mouths, not months. God, big mouths that never seemed satisfied, like a lot of porn. When the 4 dinosaur kids were really young, well, I mean, not that there were dinosaur kids in the porn. That would be really, that would be DeviantArt. When the 4 dinosaur kids were really young, it became apparent that they would grow bigger than average humans, but remain smaller than their actual dinosaur ancestors. Okay. Sorry, just yawned there. Clem believed this would occur because their eggs had mixed with the Earth's chemistry for millions and millions of years, and, consequently, their growth had been stunted. That's not how that works. It would be a good reason to say that their growth had been stunted because they'd been underground for 65 million years. They had not gotten, I don't know, some shit. The fact that they had only gotten, born 65 million years late. It's kind of late there. Anyway, so, no, they wouldn't grow to the actual size of their dinosaur ancestors. I think she stuck that in there just like, she already knows that we're asking the question, how big are these dinosaurs going to get? And she's already answering it for us. Directly. But, yes, they would be bigger than human beings. Okay. Oh, just so you know, I already read this chapter. It's weird. Because their body frames and potential size, the dinosaurs realized they would never be able to do certain things that other kids did. Although they didn't like to talk about it, it made them sad. For example, they would never be able to drive a car because their tails would get in the way. They would never be able to that's not the only reason they wouldn't be able to drive a car. They're too big for it, first of all. How would they get out? How would they reach the pedals? They would never be able to ride on a roller coaster or an airplane. Well, we already knew that. That goes without saying. They wouldn't be able to balance well on a regular bike. But motorcycles are fine. Motorcycles are fine. That's the cover, folks. Motorcycles are fine. Motorcycles without a securely attached axle. And over this stream, that wheel should fall off. Anyway, where are we? Somewhere in chapter 7. Yeah. The clothes they wore, although made for them lovingly by Joan, were different from the clothes other kids wore. Why are they wearing clothes? They couldn't wear cool sneakers like other kids. They don't need them because there wasn't a pair on the planet that could fit their large feet. But she already made them shoes! Ugh! But rather than look at life based on what they couldn't do, the dinosaurs consciously decided to concentrate on what they could do. With this outlook on life, they quickly realized that they were truly blessed in many, many ways. So, like, depressed for like 5 minutes. They celebrated their uniqueness. They learned to do their best and forget the rest. They learned to do their best and forget the rest. They learned to do their best and forget the rest. That sentence hurt me. Gradually, their sadness over not being just like human kids went away. They just forgot about it. Just went away. Frequently, Joan and Clem took their children outside to teach them games that every kid in the United States plays. Even the disabled ones. These delightful times were a lot of fun for the entire family. One of their favorite games was baseball. How do they play baseball? You need hands for baseball. You gotta swing the bat and you gotta catch. Do they have baseball gloves? The Stones divided into 2 teams, the boys against the girls. Trex, Braun, and Clem played against Joan, Riz, and Deb, so as not to suffer unnecessarily in the stifling daytime desert heat. As you know, they're dinosaurs. They usually started their games around 5 p.m. when the sun was not so high in the sky. It was on one such hot, dry night of stone baseball that do they play with stones? That Joan and Clem decided realized for the first time that each of their children possessed special superpowers. Yeah, they each have like 2 powers each. Well, Braun has like 1. Actually, Braun has 1 power. He's just really strong. I feel bad for him. Okay, Trex, you're up, Clem said, standing on second base, rocking back and forth, just waiting to run to third. Trex walked up to home plate and stood poised like a statue. Lifting the bat, he stared fiercely into Joan's eyes as if it were going to fuck that living fuck out of her. No, as if this was the most important at-bat in the final game of the World Series. This is the most important at-bat in the final game of the World Series. That's not how it works. I don't even like baseball, and that's not even a proper sentence. Joan covered her face with her glove and turned, so they do have baseball gloves, and turned to give Deb on first base and Riz on the shortstop position a look. Oh, they do have a first baseman and have a shortstop, but no catcher. Who's the umpire? Who's the umpire? Then she threw the ball toward home plate. Trex swung with all his might. He hit the ball poorly, and it grounded slowly toward the field between first and second base. Trex took off running to first, while Deb scooted over to grab the moving ball. Just as she tried to pick it up, she kicked it by accident. Oh, that clumsy Deb. Sending it into the outfield. Trex kept running and almost collided with Deb, except when he got to where Deb was on the baseline. Trex jumped right over her. Clem had already started to run to third, and as he passed Riz, he heard her scream, "What is he doing?" Riz yelled. All she could see was Trex jumping higher and higher as he jumped onto second base and then to third, never taking any steps in between each base. I guess it's technically legal, but the image of a jumping Tyrannosaurus Rex fully clothed it's an image. Deb finally grabbed the ball and ran with tremendous speed to catch up with her jumping brother. As she passed Joan on the pitcher's mound, Deb's speed was so fast it blew Joan off her feet. Riz was freaking out. Yeah, All she could see was a cloud of smoke running by at her and Trex jumping toward home plate. Joan was lying on the ground in complete shock. Bona fide! Braun yelled, indicating he thought Trex and Deb's actions were really cool. Hang on a second, I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee here. Okay. Stop! Riz called out as a cloud of dust and a jumping Trex bounded toward her. All of a sudden, everything came to a complete stop. The dirt and dust settled. Deb, I couldn't even see you while you were running. It was like you were a bolt of lightning, yelled Riz.
Both of you surprised me, exclaimed Joan. Where did you get those jumping abilities, Trex?
So in the previous version, the one that I couldn't actually upload to YouTube, I decided on a voice for Trex because we actually haven't heard his voice yet. And this is what it is. I don't know. I didn't want to hit Deb, and I wanted to get around all the bases as quickly as I could, Trex replied. Okay, Trex, let's see it again, Clem said. Trex started running, threw his hands back, and jumped. Why did he throw his hands back? How did he throw his hands back? They don't. Was it like that? Or... Rah, okay. 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 And jumped. He continued jumping upward until he was barely visible high in the sky. So he's like double jumping? It's just like... Or is it just one jump? Because that sentence is odd. He looked like a speck of dust shooting upwards. You're spending time to watch me drink coffee. Now that's what I call jumping, Ron exclaimed. Bona fide. Joan and Clem stared at each other in wide-eyed amazement. This is the part that they are amazed about. You know, when they're just playing, when you're just playing baseball with your small, sentient, self-aware dinosaur kids who can talk English, and all of a sudden one of them jumps really high and the other one runs really fast. That's the part that, you know, starts freaking you out. I bet I could catch up to him, Deb said as she took off running like the speed of light. Deb said as she took off running like the speed of light. She took off running like the speed of light. Does she mean speed-wise, or that light is running and she went off running as if she were light? Ugh! Miraculously, in about 2 seconds, Trex and Deb were both standing back in the field with their family. What were they doing in those 2 seconds? Well, Trex, your jumping ability is amazing. Deb, your speed is unbelievable, Clem said. Oh yeah, Dad? You think my jumping is something? Watch this. Trex walked over to the side of the house and turned his entire body hard as a rock. What's happening to you? Questioned Riz. I've turned myself hard as a rock. Now, nothing can break through me, Trex yelled triumphantly. Nothing! What? Asked Braun, staring in amazement at Trex. Come on. Not only can I jump, but I can also turn hard as a rock, and nothing can break through me, Trex explained again. Oh yeah, watch this, Riz huffed all of a sudden. She charged at Trex. Just then, Trex moved out of the way. He just dodged. He just dodged the speed of light. Because that's the thing. And Riz charged right through the thick, heavy stucco wall of their house. Everyone looked at each other. I'm okay, Riz yelled from inside the settling dust engulfing the hole in the wall of the house. You may be okay, but what about our house? Joan screamed. Turning, Joan and Clem looked over at their home that now had a huge hole in its side. Finally, Riz poked her big thorny head out through the hole and gave them all a thumbs up. Dinosaurs don't have thumbs. Who's talking? That's one for the Riz, wouldn't you say? She yelled while walking back to join the family. Do you all have superpowers we don't know about? Clem asked, surveying his 4 supersized kids. Then, as if a cloud had been lifted, Trex, Deb, Riz, and Braun confessed how each of them had possessed special and unique powers. Why is it like a cloud? It's not like a cloud. Before today, they'd been afraid to let their parents in on their little secret. Who's talking? Dad, you saw my powers today. Oh, like 2 minutes ago. I can jump really high and also turn hard as a rock. I can't stop anything in my path. Trex volunteered excitedly.
What can you do, Braun?
Joan asked. That is, besides, say, bona fide pipe. Oh, wait, no, it's Deb talking. That is, besides, say, bona fide? Piped in Deb sarcastically. Very slowly and methodically, Braun answered, well, I am very, very strong, and my brute strength is, well, it's incredible. I've even lifted cars off the ground in your repair shop, Dad, when you weren't looking. Clem gasped. Yeah, I've seen him. I've been there when he's done it. It's really cool, Deb said. Dad, don't you remember the day you went into the shop and kept asking who'd been playing around with that blue 55 Chevy you'd been working on? Yes. Well, that was the day Braun lifted the Chevy over his head and all... Brontosaurus have like... Okay, I was in the Natural History Museum in New York yesterday. And they had a Brontosaurus skeleton in like the front hall. The thing's neck was like 20 feet long. How long are his arms? Or did he just like make his head go to the ground and just okay? Well, that was the day Braun lifted the Chevy over his head and all the stuff you were working on under the hood got a little out of place, Deb continued. We all tried to help Braun put the stuff back where it belonged, but I know we missed a lot of things. Braun put his head down to avoid his father's eyes. Well, what else can you four do? I know it's time you all confess to your mother and me. Now, let's hear it, Clem asked calmly, not reprimanding Braun. A+ parenting, I suppose. So, it was on a night of routine baseball that the Stones first learned the details of their children's unique qualities and superpowers. You've already established that they learned about the superpowers. Riz explained that she could inhale large amounts of water, even an entire lake, and exhale it to help put out fires. What about the fish? And how'd she figure that out? She's in Arizona. How'd you figure that out? Who's talking?
We can all believe you, Riz. Look what you...
Oh, wait. And exhale, no, put out fires. She can also charge and break through anything. Even Trex? Can she break through Trex? Because nothing can stop him. Nothing can break through him, evidently. But she can break through anything. I didn't expect this book to make me have an existential crisis.
We all believe you, Riz. Look what you just did to our house,
Joan said, somewhat frustrated. Deb explains that she can run faster than anyone and outrun any moving object on Earth, even a high-speed train. And, while she's at it, she can run on any surface, even vertical structures like the sides of a building. But she can only run on vertical structures when she's running fast. Otherwise, she can just, like, falls down. She can also break glass by screeching. Well, it sounds like an 8-year-old. When she tilts the bone on the back of her head as far back as possible, she makes a high-pitched noise that will shatter glass. Trex can jump unbelievably high and can turn hard as a rock. Like me on Saturday nights. Braun can catapult things with his huge tail, and his brute strength is remarkable. To illustrate his ability to catapult, Braun suddenly put his tail down around Deb, scooped her up into it, and tossed her more than 300 yards onto the roof of their home, loudly yelling, "Bona fide," as Deb soared through the air. Jostled, Deb finally got back her footing on the rooftop but screamed angrily, "That's enough, Braun! We all believed you! You told us you catapult things with your tail! Don't ever do it to me again, or I'll screech your big ears and shatter your big fat ugly head, you fat fuck! Goddamn! Fuck! God! Expletives!" "Enough! Enough!" yelled Clem. "None of you will ever use your superpowers to hurt each other. Do you hear me?" "Yes, we hear you, Dad," they all responded, almost in perfect unison. Creepy. Jonah and Glum looked at each other in amazement. Their 4 kids were indeed different. They're dinosaurs. They're not actual kids. Each had special and unique powers. No 2 were the same. "You've established this!" It seemed that, beyond baseball, they were a great team that could help each other out in a pinch. That's convenient. What had started out as just another game of baseball had turned into one very informative, magical evening. The superpower part is what's making it magical, not the fact that these dinosaur eggs survived 65 million years, were found by this couple who randomly decided to move to Arizona, hatched for 65 million years, and the dinosaurs inside just so happened to be able to learn English and other languages, and now they have superpowers. And only the last part is the magical part. Fine. Finally, Clem turned to the group and said, "Okay, so now we know things about each of you that we never knew before, but I know one other thing too. We all must help cover that hole in the wall that Riz just created. Let's get moving. It's already pretty dark out here. We don't want any little desert animals crawling through that hole in the wall tonight. Now do we? They're dinosaurs that can just fucking eat them, it doesn't matter." And so, in the blink of an eye, the 4 dinosaurs who wanted nothing more than to be like human kids, let it be known that they possess superpowers that other kids didn't have. But, in many ways, they were just like all the other kids in the world. Although supersized, their daily life involved schoolwork, playtime, meals, sports, TV, the internet, and all the other things most kids do. Except going in a car. There was one other thing, though, that further set these dinosaurs apart from other kids. They were terribly afraid of ice. Ice, baby. Yes, ice. Just plain ice you find in your freezer, or that you skate on in the winter when the pond freezes over, or that sometimes covers the surface of the road, especially at night. Regardless of where ice was located, these dinosaurs wanted no part of it. Can you imagine that? Why did they fear ice? Because they believed that it was the Ice Age that took the lives of their biological parents and other dinosaur ancestors. But it was the Royans. The Royans killed them. It was the aliens. Why aren't they scared of aliens? Scared of ice? Why not? So ice was their enemy, and they avoided it in all situations. So that's a really good way to get through life. Just avoid your problems. They wouldn't have ice cubes in their drinks. They would not go near a freezer. They never ice skated or watched hockey games on television. I mean, like, I'm scared of heights, but I'll still watch videos of people skydiving. So I don't understand that. Worst of all, they wouldn't eat ice cream. No chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry. Well, okay. They never tasted ice cream with birthday cake. Imagine never watching ice cream melt down around a slice of birthday cake on your plate. Imagine never... Why is that a question? It's not phrased as a question, but there's a question mark at the end of it. Imagine never tasting the sweetness of the sugar from frosting as it blends and the sweetness of the ice cream explodes in your mouth. That's also not a question. It tastes so good. That's 10 O's. Is that literally 10 O's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 O's. It's 10 O's and so good. But these dinosaurs didn't know that. Nor did they care. Good for them. Simply put, they wanted nothing to do with ice, regardless of whether or not it was their birthday. Why are they eating cake? How can they digest milk? I don't understand. This is driving me crazy. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream now because the chapter's over. I'll probably read chapter 8 later today because it's the last day of winter break and I gotta like go through this, but none of it makes any sense. The world is suffering. Let me know in the comments what you want me to do. See you guys later. This is Phosphorus hitting stop streaming. Bye.